Well, amid a climate of uncertainty, President Trump is sticking to his economic guns. The president's policies, particularly tariffs, have created far-ranging issues both at home and abroad, with the U.S. gross domestic product dropping in the first quarter of 2025 for the first time in 3 years. So faced with some of the realities on the horizon, such as the toy shortage currently being predicted, President Trump told reporters yesterday that Americans may have to go without in some cases.
All I'm saying is that a young lady, a 10-year-old girl, 9-year-old girl, a 15-year-old girl doesn't need 37 dolls. She can be very happy with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Right. I would. Let's not waste a lot of time on a stupid question.
All right, so NewsNation's Joe Khalil live at the White House. Joe, the president seemingly acknowledging that consumers, U.S. consumers, may experience some shortages here, but he's standing firm on his policies.
Yeah, he is. It seems like the tone from the White House that we're getting appears to be stay calm and trust the president. And you just heard President Trump there addressing the fact that there may very well be short-term pain here, but that he is not backing down in any way from his tariff policy. It's something that we heard not only from President Trump, but also from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent this morning, who reiterated that message that they are continuing to try to reshape the global order when it comes to trade in a way that benefits the United States and American workers. That is the long-term goal. They talked about how that tariffs paired with things like tax cuts and deregulation could work together, but that you're going to need to give it time. Still, in the short term, what you have are a lot of Americans per polling suggesting that they are accepting the idea that costs may go up in the short term, that, as you heard President Trump illustrate there, things may be fewer on the shelves at some point. That is a realistic possibility that may happen as a result of the tariff policy. Nonetheless, President Trump also said this week that he is hoping to announce trade deals between the United States and any one of several countries that he has mentioned who he says want to do a trade deal with the United States, renegotiate potential trade balance, and also we may end up seeing that ripple through the markets if there is something that is announced. Take a listen in that Oval Office moment you just saw in the last hour. He addressed a ton of questions, among them this one, and this is what he said about China in particular.
They all want to make a deal because we have something that they all want. We have something that they all want. China wants to make a deal very badly. You see what's happening to China. China is being decimated, and I don't want that to happen. But they have to make a fair deal. We were losing hundreds of billions of dollars a year. We were losing think of it, on our trade policies with Biden. We're losing $5 billion a day.
Now, some critics are saying that the math simply does not add up. They don't believe that in even the long term, with this tariff policy, you will end up at a place where the United States comes out better in terms of the American consumer on the other side. But again, as we set off the top here, President Trump continuing to double down on this idea that there will be long-term benefit, but that the United States, that Americans, that consumers here may have to swallow a little bit of price hikes in the short term. We will see this week whether any of those trade deals are announced and whether those deals, if they are announced, Nichole, end up bringing tariffs down in any significant way.
Yeah, we will see what happens. All right, Joe Khalil, live there in D.C. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.